Though death is never a cheery subject, it can sometimes be subject to morbid intrigue. For instance, the following 6 strangest ways people have died. Number 6. Draco. No, not Draco Malfoy. This ancient Greek, simply known as Draco, is thought to have lived sometime around 650 BC and is the first recorded legislator of Athens. The laws he put into place were known for their harshness, thus the word draconian, which refers to unforgiving laws in general, was coined. Notable portions of this draconian constitution include one of the homicide laws, which differentiated between murder and involuntary homicide, and the gratuitous use of the death penalty for crimes as minor as stealing a cabbage. Despite his severe legal legacy, however, Draco was smothered by affection. Literally. During a traditional show of ancient Greek affection, fans of the legislator threw gifts of clothing onto him inside a theater. So many gifts that Draco actually suffocated to death beneath them. He was later buried in the same theater as the location of his bizarre demise. Number 5. Aeschylus. Another ancient Greek, this playwright lived about 100 years later than Draco, around 523 BC. Sometimes called the father of tragedy, his works are the earliest to have survived the years, along with Sophocles and Euripides. Aristotle even studied him, stating that Aeschylus contributed to his chosen genre by expanding the number of characters outside the chorus in order to make conflicts more complex and varied. In the few years before his death, the playwright spent a great deal of time indoors, as a prophecy claimed he would be killed by a falling object. As it turns out, while on a trip to Gela, Italy, an eagle mistook his head for a rock suitable for cracking open a tortoise shell and subsequently dropped its catch on him, killing him instantly. Yes, you heard that right. A famous ancient Greek playwright died by falling tortoise. Number 4. Adolf Fredrik, King of Sweden. Let's do a short one for good measure. Though many consider this monarch one of the weakest in Sweden's history, his appetite was legendary in that it directly led to his death. In February of 1771, the king literally ate himself to death, with a meal consisting of lobster, caviar, sauerkraut, kippers and champagne, and 14 servings of semla, a sweet cardamom bun sandwiching almond paste and served in a bowl of hot cream. Number 3. Tycho Brahe. This late 16th century Danish astronomer is almost as famous for his scientific contributions as he is for his fake nose and his strange death. The last of naked eye astronomers, meaning astronomers working without the aid of a telescope, Brahe disputed the long-held Aristotelian belief of a static celestial realm after observing a new star in the Cassiopeia constellation in 1572. From there, Brahe developed the first tables for correcting possible measurement errors due to atmospheric refraction, and his research helped Kepler, Brahe's protege, posit his 3 laws of planetary motion. Brahe also lost part of his nose in a sword fight with another Danish nobleman over a mathematical formula, which spurned his interest in alchemy after making himself a replacement nose, largely speculated to have been made out of silver or gold. Brahe's body has been exhumed twice in the early 1900s and later in the early 2000s, once to confirm the actual material of his faux nose and once to confirm his cause of death. The former was revealed to be brass, while the latter concluded that historical counts were true in their strangeness. Brahe died of a burst bladder, which occurred when the astronomer refused to leave a banquet to urinate due to etiquette. Number 2. Peng Fan. Let's go modern for a moment. Peng Fan was a Chinese chef from Shunde, a province with a long history of enjoying the meat of a particular animal, the Indo-Chinese spitting cobra. The snake has long been considered not only a delicacy, but also a cure for a variety of ailments. The more poisonous a creature, the logic goes, the more potent its healing properties. Just before his death, Peng was going about business as usual. He cut off the head of the cobra and set it aside while he chopped off the rest of the body to throw in a dish. However, 20 minutes later, when he went to throw the head away, it reanimated and bit him, injecting the chef with its fast-acting venom. Apparently, most reptiles can function to up to an hour after being separated from certain body parts, in some cases, even their entire body. The restaurant Peng worked out of rang out with his surprised cries of pain, customers remember, but unfortunately, the chef passed away before he could be treated with the required anti-venom. Number 1. Rasputin. Grigory Rasputin tops this list not for having a stranger death than being bitten by a decapitated cobra or being smothered by adoring fans, but because of the varied and increasingly desperate attempts to kill him at all. In the early 20th century, Rasputin was semi-adopted by the royal family for confusing and not all that interesting reasons. The important part of the story is this. The immediate royal family loved him, but the extended family did not. Sick of his political meddling, Rasputin's less than adoring acquaintances set into motion a series of 4 different assassination attempts because the man was basically unkillable. First, a member of the Russian parliament invited Rasputin over for tea and dessert, both of which were poisoned. Rasputin ate nothing for 2 hours, sending the parliamentarian into a panic, but eventually he succumbed succumb to his own thirst and hunger. Then, nothing. Frustrated, Felix, the conspirator, shot him in the back. He left the room for a bit then to go destroy some evidence, but when he got back, Rasputin was very much alive and attacked his attempted murderer, managing to escape outside in the snow to a nearby fence. After a few misses, Felix managed to shoot Rasputin twice more, once in the back and once in the head. Then he beat him severely with a rubber baton before realizing that after a third attempted murder method, Rasputin was still kicking it in the realm of the living. So they wrapped him in cloth and dumped him into the river. When authorities eventually found the body 2 days later, it was shown that Rasputin had attempted to claw his way out of the ice in the river, and eventually drowned.